Yo, bartender.
Bar's closed.
Hey, yo, bartender, what's good, man? Let me get a drink, man. Let me get a shot.
Hey, man, I know you just put up to the bar, but we closed.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you mean to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man, I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to it. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's alright. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Tell you what, I'm gonna get you one drink, cause it look like you need
one drink. I can do one drink. I can do one drink, cause I really yeah.
Hey, man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to brought to you by is Minecraft Central. Bet y'all never went there. You might want to go there. One of the things I want to tell you, this is going to be something that my man Craft, he engineered a way to get you success. Now you're going to ask yourself, how can you be successful? Change your mindset. That's why it's called Minecraft Central. Took the course. One of the things I can tell you, you have to practice it more and more. Why? I have to get out of old habits. And this is what gives you. It gives you words to play off on to get you into a better place. So all I want you to do is look it up, try it out, and find out how great he is. And then you'll find out why he's sitting next to me. Great minds are alike, but his is one that's one to change you. Give it a try. Minecraft. And I endorse this commercial. Now, I got to get back to this person I was just talking about with Minecraft. This man comes in the studio each and every time. We're going on 7 years. This man always be here. Right-hand guy. Craftmatic. How you doing tonight, Big Bait?
Doing good, Smooth Jay. Everything's lovely, bro.
Man, I love the fact, not just with all you create, just your spirit.
Yeah.
You come in with that gloss, that finish.
Yeah.
Be like, boy, you something else.
Just some showmanship.
I like it. I ain't hating on it. I like it.
Yeah. But life is good, man. Working hard and staying focused. And so, what more can you say? You know.
Hey, man, you've been blessed, man, and I'm glad you've been blessed.
Very blessed.
And
yes.
Again, with that blessing, man, I'm able to see it, receive it, feel the energy from it, and I really like that because then I can just change my whole appearance.
Yes.
Behind me being better, because I watch better.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you got to have great people around you, man. And that's why I appreciate you being next to me.
I appreciate that, Jay.
So it makes my life that much better, man. My life going pretty good, man, when I start looking at things in different ways. I told you a long time ago, I prayed for understanding. And once that hit me and I started really paying attention more to what's going on, it made me look at life a lot different. So now I really enjoy life more, and I just don't live to die. I'm sorry, because I was taught heaven to hell and where you're going to go when you die. And I forgot to live. Now I'm starting to live. And it's not just because my age. It's just because I'm starting to apply more things that I learned. And I also had to deprogram myself from things that was not even true.
Right.
So I learned a lot of bad stuff. And then I had to realize it wasn't right for me. Then I had to learn me. Once I learned me, I started saying, hey, now I need to change my whole template. Because now I understand what I stand for.
Yes.
And that right there is something that I can't tell you that you just going to learn overnight. But it's great when you get it, because now nobody can change you. Because a lot of people always want you to be like them. You can't follow what you don't understand. I just don't understand why people do it. The best person to be is you. And if you do want to follow somebody, you have your own accord of why. This person is going this direction, same as me. So now we can mesh together. But if you're not going my direction, why am I wasting my time?
Right.
That's how I'm doing.
A great way to introduce our show.
Yes,
this is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a fantastic dialogue. We're just going to sit here and chop it up tonight. And we hope that you can grow from our stories, our experiences, and the things that we discussed tonight. We want you to just listen and find a way to grow from right where you are.
Yes.
We call that somewhat therapeutic. And you know, these conversations can absolutely be therapeutic.
Oh, yes.
We've had hundreds of them, and I think I am the person who I am today because we have shared so much wealth on this show. So sit back, relax, and enjoy what we are about to discuss today. It's going to be absolutely powerful. Now, we always start to show off with a prayer. You know, Jay, would you like to do a prayer?
Get them over the head, Pastor Kraft.
Okay. By the way, excuse me on my headphones there. Our topic for tonight is the COVID impact.
Ooh.
We want to sit here and just discuss, kind of in a healing way, what has unfolded over the last 3 years. And it has been extreme.
Yes.
And it has been a story to tell, right? So we're going to sit here and just chop it up on our experiences with the COVID impact. And let's ask the Lord to help us do that.
All day long.
Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, just thanking you for all that you are in our life.
Yes.
You've been our strength. You've been our confidant. You've been our leader. You've been our protector. And in spite of all of the chaos that is going on around us, you have still kept us in the game. And you have still kept us strong. And you have still kept our vision. We're asking, Heavenly Father, for a reflection tonight. What did we miss? What should we understand? What questions should we be asking? Who are we to become as a result of this extreme impact of COVID in our lives? We know that you are our Heavenly Father and you carry us through, but we need wisdom and understanding tonight. And we would ask that you would be here with us and bless this show, inspire us with your intelligence. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Oh, yeah, that was nice. That was nice, Kraft.
Amen. Amen. Now, one thing I wanted to catch up with, man.
What's that, bro?
You always spit so much information, and one of the things you said during the introduction was deprogramming oneself.
Yes.
And whether you folks can see it or understand it or believe it, we have been programmed in many ways. And if you just think about the character of a man, the character of a person, you know, people have been programmed to kind of hurt themselves a little bit.
I like to
right?
see. Yes.
The first example that comes to my mind is that, you know, Instagram and social media is causing depression. And that's a major issue.
Yes.
And that is part of the programming. So it happens as a byproduct of life, but sometimes we have to reprogram ourselves. And that's what active mindfulness and Mindcraft is all about. It's about not living in status quo. It's about trying to elevate your mind and your heart and your vision and your understanding. It's about trying to ascend to a higher place in life. And, you know, the people who are on fire for life are going to get the most out of this, because this information can take you to a whole new level of life by deprogramming yourself and reprogramming yourself with the right ideas, the right understanding, the right power, the right attitude, the right wisdom. That's why I love quotes on Minecraft, is because sometimes one little bitty quote can give you years of wisdom. One quote can change the way you do business. One quote can change the way that you love. One quote can change the way that you see the world. And so we have to, you know, share this information, and that's what I've done with Minecraft. So I'm grateful for you allowing me to be here, to talk about it tonight, Jay, and your support, you know, and all that you've done to help me. So I want you folks to check it out. You'll go to myactivemindfulness.com. I got like 3 websites, right?
I know, right?
myactivemindfulness.com. myactivemindfulness.com. You'll get a chance to see front to back what we're talking about and what we do, and push the button, sign up, and come down and join us for the next session.
There you go.
Now, let's talk about this thing we call the COVID impact.
Woo.
We've had 3 years of the most radical days on the history of mankind.
Yes, we have.
I don't believe there's ever been a time in life where the entire human race, has been threatened by such a distraction, by such a terror. We all, at some point in the game, especially early in the game, we all had to consider potentially this world is over. We all, in the back of our minds, thought to ourselves, life might be over with. This may be the end. Potentially, the enemy may have won. And from that place of darkness, from that place of discouragement, we have to do something.
Correct.
And the question is, what did we do? How did this COVID experience impact us over the last 3 years? And what should we have learned from it? How should we have changed? Who should we be as a result of it? And where should we be going as a result of it?
Right.
This absolutely and most radically has changed the mindset of mankind, more than anything in the history of. So I'm just wanting to get to, Jay, how did it impact you? What were some of the highlights in terms of how you changed, or how you managed people, or you managed your business, or you managed your life? What's going on?
All right. The very first time I caught COVID more than once. So just to let y'all know, I was not vaccinated. I'm not going to talk about the jab or choice, but I just chose not to. And with that, again, I ended up catching it. I'd like to tell you, first thing was a fear.
A fear, yes.
The fear was because I was watching TV and I'm watching people catch it, go to the hospital, and then they was dying.
Right.
By mass numbers, okay?
Right.
That scared me.
Right.
So I wasn't feeling that great. And I'm sitting there eating. And again, my mom is of age where I'm always concerned for her, but I'm eating and I can't say I didn't taste anything. I just wasn't feeling myself.
Right.
So naturally, I want to be looking out for my mom. So I'm going to run down and just get tested to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Because I work all the time.
Right.
So I get down there and I get tested. I'm sitting there. And the lady didn't even tell me I was positive. She just sent me the piece of paper. But she came in there with mask and shield on. The first time it was just regular mask. Next time she had a shield. So I knew it was something. Because you didn't come in here the first time with no dang on shield. You came in with a mask and it was cool. And, asked me my symptoms and I was telling her. And, she was like, okay. Well, she gave me the test. I'm thinking it's going to take a while. So I'm sitting back. I'm in my phone. I'm not really feeling bad or anything. I'm just knowing I'm not myself. I wasn't in perfect health. And she came back and she handed me the piece of paper, and of course it was highlighted positive. Go. So naturally, a fear come upon me, cause she came in there with a shield, like, you got the cooties, and I'm like, wow, but my mom's there. I don't want to get this to my mom. I don't want to get this to nobody. Where I get it from? Now I'm mad. Who gave this to me? It's almost like you in a position of scared, anger, mad. You know what I'm saying? So now I gotta come home and prepare myself. Now I gotta let my mom know before I can get home. Yo, I got COVID. So I need you to stay downstairs, stay away from me. I will condemn myself to a room, and I let my job know I was in position that I didn't have to go to work anyway. So I was very blessed on that end. But again, I'm gonna communicate by phone to my people, but I'm not gonna be around anybody. This is when you first get that's 14 days. Okay. Now, as I'm confining myself and being in my room, I felt like sad. I'm isolated. I can't be around nobody. I am a person that loves to be around people. I couldn't be around anybody. I was letting people know, don't bring yourself over here because of what's going on. But the person that didn't give up on me was my mom. My mom was older and she did not care. She's like, I'm going to be here for you. But I was like, Mom, just keep a distance. Because the last thing I need is you to get in something happen. Because I didn't feel like I was dwindling down, but I was depressing myself. So people would drop me food off on my porch, Instacart me. And they was doing things, and I got to say, hats off to a lot of people that care for me. It did help me. But then I got to a mental stage and was sitting at home for a couple of days and realized, I was like, hold on, this self-pity thing, I don't even feel that sick. So let me exercise. Let me sit in my room, be away from everybody, exercise. Then also, let me go down on the front porch, sit by myself where nobody else see me, and just sit there, get a little sun in, and just breathe some air. Because I'm sitting in my room feeling confined, feeling like I'm in jail, bro. They jailed me for no good reason. I'm jailed in my room, so I can't say it's the complete jail, but when you can't have no interaction with nobody, it's like jail. So, got on the porch, start building myself up as in this mentally. Because I was like, man, all these reports mean I got to go to the hospital eventually. And I didn't. I didn't have to. So I did my exercise in my room, sat on the porch, and it seemed like the more days I did things, the more I felt better. But again, I was still not going around anyone because I didn't want to pass that to no one. I think I had a buddy named Phil. He caught it too, but he showed signs asymptomatic. So he didn't really show anything. So I thought that was weird because I was showing some signs. That's why I went. So I'm like, wow, make sure he went. He got tested. He was positive too. That's what I said. He's asymptomatic. So again, staying away from everybody causes that fear. Then I got to a point where I wanted to go get tested again just to see if I was negative. I went down there. Now, this is something that really ticked me. If you went 14 days and they tell you that, you need to do this confined to make sure everything is well, I feel better, but I want to know before I go around somebody else. I feel like it's my due diligence as a human being to make sure I am straight before I go around anybody else. And they told me, well, if you did 14 days, you all right. No, test me. Well, a lot of people would just test positive again. I don't care. I need to know. Because if I keep testing positive, I need to know if I'm around something. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to take responsibility. And I'm hearing feedback that's solely negative. Like, no, why are you worried? No, just as long as you did your 14 days, you're good. I'm like, but you really didn't give me no medicine. I was taking over-the-counter stuff. What if it wasn't working? You know what I'm saying? I need to ensure before I go around my employees or family members and contaminate somebody else off of what you telling me 14 days is what's required. Okay, but where's some more testing? I mean, spreading was my biggest fear. Did I see no concern over that? Just long as you did the 14 days. I did the 14 days. I listened to y'all. My problem is I listened to y'all so much, y'all scared me into a depressed state. Now I'm fighting back because I'm mad. I do not like this. I ain't like how I felt, and I sure didn't like how I was treated when I'm coming to make sure I'm good. And you telling me I'm just good without testing me. But you had no problem testing me in the first place, telling me I had it.
Right.
But you don't want to test me to make me feel good about going back out in public. That was a scare to me. That's when I'm starting wondering, wait a minute, let's make sense of this. Because we got people dying over this. This could be a major concern to everybody. Where you showing me this, social media, I'm watching on TV, they're carrying bodies out. Yeah. You put a fear factor in me that I didn't want to give to nobody else, and this how you treat me? It's bad enough I feel bad on the inside. I feel bad on the outside as in I might be passing this, and then you treat me like, okay, you all right, just run your by. This is how it continues.
But see, you got to realize, Jay, that I don't know if those people knew much more than we did. They were just following protocol, right? And protocol was, we spend the money on the shot on your young ass, and then 14 days, you good. We're not going to spend no more money on you. Go ahead, right? So everybody got the same protocol, and I understand your concern. I understand, and see, that's where the whole situation becomes toxic, because we're blaming people who don't know shit. and it's easy to do when we're all unaware, and people are getting sick, and people are dying, and these things are happening. But that was a major issue, and I think the COVID era has dramatically changed the trust in the healthcare system. Dramatically. People are not trusting the opinions of doctors and physicians anymore. When you have a Fauci on the stage who's telling you things that happens to be different than what's really going on, you really lose your trust.
Correct.
And guess what? He was standing on the stage in the White House. So you really lose your trust. And, I'm not sure that will ever go back. That will ever go back to where it was.
With me, man.
Totally.
I can't ever go back to something that I know affected my life. It affected my employees. Some of my employees ended up catching COVID, not by me. Luckily, I can say I wasn't around any of them. A lot of my drivers able to drive by themselves. That was one of the great things about what we was doing in our trash industry. It wasn't residential, so it wasn't like two people. It's always just one person, front load and right off. So one thing I can tell you, separate like that, makes us feel, because we ain't always got to be interactive with other people. You know, you in the truck by yourself. So that was a great thing. But the sad thing is how everybody was getting treated once they caught it. It was like you got the cooties. Nobody wanted to drive that person's truck.
Listen,
nobody wanted to do anything.
You gotta, and we all understand that. Like,
Yeah,
we
I
understand
mean,
that. Like,
but again, I went in, disinfected it, sprayed it, did the best I could.
yeah.
And
yeah.
again, I respected people for not wanting to get sick.
Yeah, we get it. We get it.
Yeah,
We
and
understand
that's number one thing.
why that
But
is.
man, come on now. I was scared where I wanted to go to the hospital, but I was scared to go because of what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
you go and don't seem like you come back out of it. I ain't seen that many people dying at home. I see more people dying in the hospital. So I'm like, yo, I don't want to go to the hospital. So I'm buying all kind of medicine, bro. I'm doing everything I can to keep from going to a place where I know everybody was rushing to because they were scared.
Everybody was scared. Yeah.
So I get it.
So, so much fear.
I think that's what they started.
The fear of dying, you know. I tell you, when it first happened, I actually caught COVID in February of 2020. I caught COVID about 3 or 4 weeks before quarantine.
Okay.
And for 3 weeks, man, I thought I was going to die. I was really fighting for my life. My body just went south. I was completely symptomatic and had everything you could probably have in that whole equation, you know. I felt like my brain was swollen. I was coughing like crazy for weeks. You know, I was on, you know, medication and I wasn't even sure helping. It was helping the symptoms, but it wasn't helping me cure COVID. But, you know, what it caused me to do was to become a scientist in my own world. And I started researching things that would help me overcome COVID. And I found all kinds of supplements, and I read what other countries were doing, and I even found a form of medication that, you know, that helped me out. But I literally spent 5 weeks in a very bad place.
I know.
And after that, the next 2.5 years, it seemed like I kept getting sick. I think I had COVID 3 times total. But there was something in between. Once I got the initial test, where they put the thing back in your nostrils.
Oh, yeah.
They put it back in your nostril all the way to the back of your throat, and then they turn it a couple times to catch a sample.
To your brain.
From that very moment, I started having swellingness in my sinuses. I had 3 sinus infections within 6 months of that. And so I haven't been the same since. I have not been the same since. And so there's all these weird things that keep happening. And, you know, they never happened before I had COVID. So it is very much impacting my health. And, you know, I've found some ways to take care of myself. But, you know, I've lost all the trust in the medical system. You know, I've learned what really happened. And I'm not proud to... you know, talk about it. I'm not even going to talk about it at all. But what has ultimately happened in the world is that motivation has just dropped off the map. You know,
Yes.
You know, people have lost fortunes. You know, people have been fired from work. They've been, you know, put into major setbacks. They, you know, they were able to buy a meal because they got some extra check from the government. You know, because their company closed down, the business was shallow. And, you know, I'm a advocate for small business. And 75% of all business is small business. Small business took a major hit. You know, when you're a company like Toyota, Toyota says, hey, we could survive no business for 50 years and still produce like we did yesterday. But when you're a small business, you have to really pay attention to your budget. You have to really pay attention to the production line and having customers and you know, spending the right money, and you know, so that it works for you and it's not money that's just sitting out there in some queue, you know, that'll never produce fruit.
I gotta answer that one, bro.
We've experienced so much. And
Right.
what would you want to say?
Well, I want to say that is small businesses. I can't hold that weight. My costs per month, and I'm not out there running trash, I would not survive.
You will not survive. And
My
a lot of
cost
people
factor
didn't
is going
survive.
to take me out, right? So by me running my crew the best I could and trying to keep them safe was the only way I could stay afloat. You know, big businesses can't. You got big companies that can actually shut down and they'll be all right. Most businesses can't.
Most businesses can't. Most businesses are just like most families,
Yeah.
one paycheck away from missing the bottom line. And, you know, that accountability keeps you on fire. But if there's no business, now you're really in trouble.
All day.
Right? And, you know, a lot of people were, you know, the car business took a major hit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we went from selling 400 or 500 cars a month to grinding for 50 or 60. And just imagine what that did for the weight of dealerships.
Right.
You know, obviously manufacturers cut back. Now manufacturing employees are not working. Now we got truckers not working.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got the food industry taking a hit because those people aren't working. There's, you know, it just continued to impact everybody. And
Sure.
I'm going somewhere here with this conversation because when I talk about the decrease in motivation, I'm talking about a people who are now under a level of stress that we haven't seen before.
Yes.
And I'm talking about a people who, because of that stress, a couple of things. Number one, it's making some darkness come out of some people.
Mm.
We do see the greed factor in people. You know, we remember seeing the grocery stores and
Yes,
how
we do.
people were just wanting to buy up all the product. And
Oh,
you know, we've seen some more swindling in the marketplace, where people fast talking you and they charging your account for stuff that you didn't really buy, and you know, all kinds of, you know, nonsense is going on. So it's really, you know, challenged the integrity of a people.
I agree.
And so, you know, because they're stressed, they acting different. Not only acting different on the integrity side, but acting different on the performance and life value side. There are people who have lost a lot of hope and they've lost a lot of faith. Imagine losing 2 or 3 very close to loved ones,
Which I have.
which we all have. I think everybody in America can name 2 or 3 people, maybe even a half a dozen to a dozen people that they know that have died from this COVID epidemic,
Yes.
this pandemic. And so when you lose, we've lost a lot of really strong people. We've lost a lot of really close people. You know, here's where I'm going. I'm talking about the spirit as it sits right now of mankind. I'm talking about people who don't have a lot of hope, people who have really struggled for 3 years, and they're talking about this stuff is going to start again. The mental health side and the spiritual health side and even the physical health side of people have been really challenged.
Yes.
COVID has really challenged people's health and mindsets. And so now we're talking about people who are suffering. That's where I want to get to.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Because one of the things that you said, Jay, and everything was impactful, but the most powerful thing you said for me was that you said I had to build myself back up.
Correct.
And I'm sure everybody has gone through that fight. I don't think there's a person listening to this who hasn't gone through that fight where an opportunity was not available anymore or disappeared because of this COVID scenario, and you felt like you lost something, you felt like your back was against the wall, and you had to learn how to fight again. You had to learn how to build yourself back up. And, you know, there's all kinds of ways to do it, but one of the things that happened for me, Jay, is I got close to the Lord. Like, big time. I'm more than I ever have in all of my days. I was reading the word. I was close to God. I was praying all the time.
Right.
And, you know, when you're in isolation, especially me, when I'm in isolation, it causes me to really pray. You know, when I spend a lot of time alone, somehow or another, I'll drift into a space where the Lord will get a significant portion of my time. And I'll just be talking to him and asking for guidance and asking for nurturing and all of that stuff. And I was asking him for my life. Was asking him to save me from this unknown device, this unknown bug, this unknown disease, or whatever you might call it. I gave Lord every Every antonym I knew for it.
Ain't
You
nothing
know,
wrong with it.
every synonym I knew for it. I wanted him to make sure. I wanted to make sure that if prayer was the answer to being saved, I wasn't gonna miss the mark.
There you go.
I prayed like you would not believe, and I spent months and months and months just talking to the Lord. I think it did so much for me, not to mention the Lord put a productive mindset in me during that quiet time. And so I was able to work on Minecraft. I was able to produce some videos. I was able to produce some social media impact. I was able to produce some products and some services. One of my favorite things that TD Jakes says, he says, the rain is coming. The rains are going to come. It may be sooner, it may be later, the rains are going to come. But if you have not planted seed, the rains will mean nothing to you.
Thank you.
The rains will be nothing but a muddy mess if you have not planted seeds.
Come on.
And so I planted
Preach.
seeds, and I
Preach.
kept thinking that all the time. I said, there's got to be a reason God has got all of us isolated. There's got to be a reason why we are separated from each other. The only thing that we have now is the thing that we thought was so bad, which is technology. And so now we've learned to appreciate the technology and how it can bring us close together, which
Right.
was a blessing, right? That was part of the impact.
It's huge.
But there had to be a reason. And so the only reason I could come up with was that he wanted us to get close to him. And I think that was the greatest impact that COVID had in my life, was how closely I got to God. And I was able to deal with my anger. You know, I had some raging nights in my living room. I had some raging nights alone that this could happen to us, especially in the way it happens. We're not going to talk about that, but we have been bamboozled and run amok. And, you know, that's our core belief here. And so, the enemy came against us, and I was just 38 hot for weeks that something could happen to this, that my kids could lose their lives behind, some concoction that was not meant for, not meant for us. You know what I mean? It was an evil ploy, so to speak.
Okay.
So I tell you, man, I went through a lot, and I was built up by the Spirit of God. And now that I've kind of, come out of this place, or at least at this place in time, I feel like I'm a little bit invincible.
Okay. Got that armor. All
Well,
right.
he put a rock in me during these hard times.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that he put a rock in you. There's something that he taught you. There's something that you were inspired to do. There's something that you received, and it's the season for that.
Okay.
Right? And so he put a rock in me, and now that I'm here back in the midst of quote unquote what we call normal reality, if I have to face another COVID impact, I will not have that level of fear again.
Now,
Ever.
I
will not. And I will not trust my future to quote unquote the experts in the world right now. Right? I've lost my trust for that, and I see what will happen. I see how they will treat me. It's almost caused me to go into my own isolation with God, because he seemed to be the only one that we can trust. He's the one that's going to make sure you don't touch that door handle. He's going to make sure that you don't shake that hand of that person. He's going to make sure that you don't breathe that stuff. He's the only one who can see 360 by 360 in our lives, and who can protect and guide us. And so I trust him with every fiber of my being. And so I'm not going to be hurt by no more COVIDs. Let it come and go. As the words say, this too soon shall pass. So, I'm proud of that, Jay. I'm proud of that. But
I didn't even want to interrupt you, because I was over there just cheering with you, because exactly, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I'm just to that point now that care about your health before these unleashed things happen. Okay? So if you're taking your vitamins, you understand your blood pressure, you have to take control of you. I like to say they give us a lot of information at the last minute about what we need to do. And I really feel like they're controlling.
Yeah, but you have to
need to control yourself
Yeah.
and understand where you at. And that way you're a fighting vessel. One of the things I can tell you is the third time I thought I caught COVID, I caught the flu. I never knew there was a test for the flu. there's a test for the flu. I went in there and I was just telling them I wasn't feeling great, and I had COVID before, and it didn't really feel like that, but a lot of coughing, a lot of illness. I was up in Tennessee at the time, and they said, okay, no problem, we'll take you to the back, get you tested. So when this doctor came back, she came back with no shield on. She was like, "Oh, yeah, you got the common flu. You got the new flu." Now I didn't know they had a test for it, so I'm like, "Okay, so I got a prescription. Oh, just over the counter."
You know what, Jay? I'm gonna tell you. As you're saying that to me, I'm sitting in the doctor's office. In my mind, in my picture in my mind, I'm sitting in the doctor's office, hearing the same exact thing that you heard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the second, maybe it was the third time I got the COVID test, is I also were having flu symptoms.
Okay.
And I also had the flu, right? It was going around.
Right.
And so here this physician walks in and makes me aware that there is a test for flu.
Okay.
And it is also the same test that they use for COVID. And so immediately I'm like, nah, that don't sound quite right. And I would imagine, you get the same, sample that you may be able to use it for multi-purposes. And I get that. But it was just another reason for that swab to go in my nostril.
Again.
And I was upset about that. In fact, I got mad when the lady was like, "Oh, well, I tell you what, we're gonna check your blood and do some tests, and then you're gonna need another COVID test." And as soon as she said that, I was like, "Hey, no, I don't want another COVID test. No, I'm sorry, I don't want another COVID test." I said, "The one that they put all the way." She was like, "We don't have to do it that way anymore." And I was like, "Okay, all right, as long as you don't have to do that." But I was sitting there getting the test. She was actually putting the swab in, and I said, if she go past this part of my nostril, I'm gonna stop her right there, because I got sick after that.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? I guess like a flu shot, and maybe it's supposed to make you sick a little bit. It's supposed to get in your bloodstream so that you can be more immune to it. But I don't even believe that anymore. So
right, I didn't either.
Yeah.
And I promise you, when she came back and she told me that, it made me like, okay, now I got the flu. This flu I caught, bro, I've never had in my life.
I've never had it either, Jay.
I tell you, I went through the whooping cough. I went through my swollen tonsils, swollen throat.
Yes.
I'm talking about hell on wheels, way different than just the regular COVID that I did the very first time. Second time, this was a different animal. And again, over-the-counter medicine could get myself isolated so I wouldn't pass it to anybody. I did my protocol, the ones that they said, but I did a better protocol because I also put in exercise. I put in making sure I took certain medicine.
Yeah, and you know what was another major one? Sunlight. Vitamin D.
Sitting down, sunlight,
Yeah.
and then I added CMOS.
They
I started
suggested
doing more natural stuff.
Yeah, they suggested that vitamin D,
Was
the
huge.
sun, would actually kill the virus. It would actually help kill the COVID virus in your system.
I tried that with that flu one though, and I ain't gonna lie, I was sitting because I actually went on vacation while I had it because I didn't know at that time. So when I went down and I did my little quick run, I'm sitting on the beach, man, and it's sunny, nice, and I'm shaking.
Yeah, shaking. Yeah, I had the same thing.
Cold. It's hot.
The flu.
I'm cold. I'm miserable, but I'm trying to make the best out of the situation. That's why I say when you go through something, people never know the pains of what you go through.
They never do.
And I promise you, you got to get through. Because when you get through, it's not meant for them. It's for you.
But a lot of people went through that and quietly because people were home, right? We don't know how many people. I'm thinking at least half of the people that I know have went through that. So probably a lot more than I don't know went through that as well. So people were suffering quietly in their own beds and in their own homes, etc. But it has been a bad time, and I just kind of want to elevate the conversation a little bit because now that we've gone through 3 years of this COVID pandemic, the world has changed.
It changed for me because of health issues. With COVID, they came back and said I was diabetic. Things that I didn't know.
Yes.
Helped change out.
Yes.
What you got, boo?
I want y'all can speak on the new variant that they got right now that's mixed with the flu. Right now.
And again,
he's talking about the new variant.
The new variant is
mixed with flu. Right.
And hopefully I won't catch it. But one thing I can say, let's arm ourselves with anything that we can to me. I do multi-vitamins. Okay, I'm just telling you, I do cinnamon pills. I'm telling you some things. But again, I work with my doctor. Okay, and it's preventative because I have a health issue that I came out of COVID with that I didn't have before. My A1C was not high. It became high after COVID. So my whole thing is to get things back down so I can see a longer life. And it takes you to take the initiative to do the best you can. Do your own research. You know, they put me on metformin for a long time, and I didn't like the side effect of metformin. So again, I work with her to lean me off and do something other more natural. It's not always going to be commonly done because the pharmaceutical company is huge in what they want you to have.
Yeah.
My whole thing is to do the best you can.
Well, here's the thing. Focus on the immune system, right? For that means a little something for everybody differently. But if you focus on the immune system, then you strengthen your body against anything that could attack it. We have to start with the self, as in everything else.
I agree.
Right? Make sure you're drinking plenty of water, right? A body that is dehydrated is susceptible to all kinds of ailments. Please drink plenty of water. Take your multivitamin. If you're not going to eat properly, or you know you're not eating properly, those nutrients have to be in. And so if they're not coming from food, make sure you put the multivitamin in. And that could be whatever, A, B, C, D, all the way up to zinc. But you have to focus on the immune system. That was key in the whole COVID equation. We know that people who had stronger immune systems had a bigger wall up against this stuff, right?
Calcium.
Huh?
Calcium.
Calcium is good.
Calcium pills
right?
Another good supplement. If you
all
know
kinds of stuff. You need oxygen. You need
You
calcium. You need vitamin D. You need vitamin C.
Yep.
You need all kinds of stuff. But none of that's going to take place until you're studying your own body. None of that's going to take place until you're studying your own healing process. One of the things that we all did to much degree was take our health into our own hands. We all had to do it. Nobody knew about what was going on, but we had to just do the best we could. And so Jay had an excellent idea that you really just going to have to focus on your health and focus on yourself. That's how you're going to keep yourself from this new variant. And do all that you can to keep fear away. And I've got some extreme ways to keep fear away through active mindfulness. Come and see me, myactivemindfulness.com. Anything else on the subject, Jay?
Man, I tell you,
Close?
I like to say this is one of the times I like to say coming to Minecraft will help you because it's mental. I like to say they gave us so much fear through social media, and I need to get y'all deprogrammed from the fear and an understanding of yourself. And self-empowerment starts when you start understanding your mind.
There you go.
I like to say, I can't stop a virus. I can't stop what somebody might unleash on us. But you can have a mental control of where you're going to go from here. I want you to go up, not down. And I really feel like the fear brings you down. I think you're so scared, you put yourself in a negative state. And when you get empowered to realize, no, I'm living for something, and I'm going to complete the mission that God put me here for, it puts you in a power point where no matter what's being unleashed, He will get you through. That's that power of prayer that you was talking about. And that's how it works. It works when you work. You're working with an understanding, it's not my time. You can't just watch TV and watch a bunch of people die and not think it's not going to impact you. It mentally does. I want to unprogram you from what you see to what you need to be. And that's what Minecraft does. So again, back to why you're needed mentally. You don't even know what you're about to go through.
There you go.
Be strong.
Be strong. And that's a great way to close our show. This has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we hope you have enjoyed our show tonight. We're just trying to be leaders here in our own community.
Yes.
We are here every Thursday from 7 to 8 Facebook Live. And you can find us on all the major platforms. Please like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. We do this for you. Please never forget that we love you. We appreciate you. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.